Hi, welcome to PWN Global's webinar on how to add an event to MemberClicks. So, as we're already aware, some of you don't use MemberClicks to manage your events. So some of our city networks have chosen to use Eventbrite or other event management tools. And that's fine. Whatever works for you at a local level is great. However, what we have noticed is many people are no longer putting their events onto the PWN Global calendar. Okay, so I'm just going to start sharing my screen with you. So you should be able to see my screen. This is PWN Global's website, which you are probably all familiar with. And on the right-hand side of the website, we have this event calendar. Okay, and once a month we write out to all of our people who have subscribed to our newsletter to tell them about the events that we're running. So if your event is not listed on this calendar, you're missing out on an opportunity to get in front of over 40,000 people, because we push this out via our social media channels, via our website, and via our newsletter subscriber list. So what we'd really like to encourage you all to do is, even though you're advertising your events on your own websites and via your own systems, if you could just take 5 minutes each time you add an event to make sure that you add it onto the PWN Global calendar as well, that would be great. And I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very, very simple. So first of all, you log in to the MemberClicks administration portal. So for those of you who are not familiar with this portal, this is the address. It's pwnglobal.memberclicks.net/administrator. Okay. Within here, I'm going to create a test event to show you how it works. So you go to event management, excuse me. Okay, and then in event management, it's really important that you select the folder for your city network. This will enable you to find your events much easier. So I'm going to select PWN Global Events. Okay, and I'm going to simply add an event. All of these other events are events that we've already ran. So like everything in MemberClicks, if you want to just simply copy an existing event because you're running it again, you can just create a copy. But I'm going to show you how to create one from scratch. So you click Add. And then here you may be familiar with this screen. I'll show you how you complete it. So it's fairly self-explanatory. The event name, I'm going to say PWN test event for training purposes. Okay. Location, we'll go to meeting. Okay, the event start date, I'm going to put as April the 1st, and I'm going to put it at 12 AM. And the event end date, I'm going to put as April the 1st at 1 PM. Just to clarify, because I do get asked questions about this quite often, 12:00 AM is midday. If you put 12:00 PM, it's midnight. It's not until it's 12:01 that it becomes PM. Okay, so just make sure that if you are doing something at noon, you make sure that you've got the AM selected. The display start date, you can start it, so you need to make this start date in advance of when you want to start advertising and when you want to start your event appearing on an event. What's really great about this part is if you have an event that you want to make exclusively accessible just between certain times, you can do that with this display start date and display end date. Anna, I'm receiving a message from you saying you can't hear anything. Can everybody else hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. This is Michiko.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you very well, Marina.
Anna, I'm not sure. Right, okay, let me just quickly make a message to Anna. Anna, if you do not have speakers enabled, you will need to dial in via a telephone too. Okay, sorry about that, ladies. Okay, so you select your time zone, you select your display start date and your display end date. As a matter of best practice, what I tend to do here is put in a date very far in advance. And that way you keep a history of all the events that you've run. So if ever you want to go back to the calendar and see what events you ran over the past 12 months, you can do that if they're still visible. So the event preview, I'm just going to put quickly in there, event for people wanting training on MemberClicks, event management. And in here is just the description of your event. So that might be something like, so here's the description of my event. Here is the bio of the speaker. And here we might have a photo. Just so you're all aware that when I publish the monthly event newsletter, what I like to do is make sure that we show a range of where we are in the world and also a range of different topics. So if, for example, we have carried events relating to entrepreneurship in January, February and March, and then in April you've created this great entrepreneurial event, it may not get focus in the newsletter simply because we've covered that topic for 3 months running. Likewise, if we've carried an event for Munich for 3 months, it may be that in the 4th month Munich doesn't get a mention because the newsletter only really has room for 4 or 5 events each month, and then all of the readers are directed to the global calendar so they can look at the entire calendar, but we only really feature 4 or 5 events a month. So when I'm looking for events, what I do is I make a list of all the events that there are. So I've just been doing this afternoon, so I'll show you exactly how I do it. So I go to the event calendar on the website, the front end of the website, and I select the following month. So I'm going to select April because today I'm working on April's events. Okay, and then I make a list of all of these events in April. And then I review what we've carried in previous newsletters. And by doing that, I can make sure that everybody gets a fair, they get fair exposure in our newsletter. So for example, today, and I don't wish to name and shame anybody, but today this one looked like an interesting event. It's Zug in Zurich. And when I clicked on the event, this is what I found. So literally, there's a title here, there's a start time, there's an agenda, and some details on registration. What it doesn't give me is any detail about the event, and therefore this event won't make the newsletter. If I give you another example of one that carries a little bit more information, let's have a look at April 6th. I know there's one on there. So there's an entrepreneurship program starting. And in here, you see it welcomes you to the entrepreneurship program. It gives you some details on module 1, and it gives you some details on the bio of the lady who's going to be presenting module 1. It gives you a link to click through and register for the event, and it gives you a contact details for somebody that can help you if you've got any questions. That event is more likely to get exposure than the previous event that I showed you, simply because when our readers read the newsletter, we want them to get some really interesting information. So this versus this is really a much better read for our people. So if I go back into here, this is where you would insert your link to your event. So usually the adding an event to MemberClicks is a 3-stage process. You do this, you add an event, and then the second process is to create a form, a registration form that is attached to this event. The third process is to create a revenue stream. You don't need to worry about the second and third process if you are using a system outside of MemberClicks like Eventbrite. All you would do is in this point say register here, okay, and then you would go into Eventbrite or whichever system you're using and you would pick up the URL for the registration page. So I'm just going to pick up any URL. I'm going to pick up this one here, go back into our admin page, highlight the register here text and click on this insert link icon. Okay, and I'm going to insert that URL. So now when somebody's in the main body of an event, they'll be able to click here and it will take them straight to the page where they can register. Contact name, I'm going to put my name in there. I'm going to put my email address in there. You can include a contact phone number if you want. I'm not going to include one just for this. And then for the groups that you want to see your event, you highlight in this box. So I'm highlighting them all because I'm creating a public event. If you want to create an event that's just for your audience, for example, if you're in Warsaw, you would highlight Warsaw and Warsaw admin. However, what I recommend from a promotion perspective is the more people that see that you're delivering events, the more likely you are to attract more people. So somebody in the Zug and Zurich office of one organisation may be speaking to their counterparts in Warsaw, and they may be able to say, hey, I can see on the PWN Global website that there's a great event in Warsaw that you might be interested in. So try not to restrict your audiences at this stage where you're promoting. Try and restrict your audiences when you go through to the registration portal. For example, you need to be a member to join this. But make sure that they see it at least so they can make a decision as to whether they want to become a member. Another thing that you could do is in the description of the event, you could write member only event. Make it very clear to anybody reading this that they need to be a member in order to join the event. But you still make it visible to everybody. Okay. Does everybody on the phone know how to insert a photo?
Sorry, I didn't get this last words.
Okay, does on the call today, or is there anybody on the call today who doesn't know how to insert a photo, an image?
Is it the same? Is it the same process as MailChimp?
No, it's slightly different.
Okay, so I don't.
Okay, so I will show you how to do that.
Thank you.
So say we want to insert a photo here. There's an insert edit image picture here. Don't touch this. This is where MemberClicks is not
good to know.
intuitive, I'm afraid. So do not touch this. Intuitively, you would select this. What I want you to do is select this one down here, image. Okay, and I'm going to click on it. And then you can either select an image that's in one of these folders. So here's all my event images. I can select an image from any one of them, or I can upload an image on the fly. So I know that I've got an image on my hard drive and I want to upload it. So literally you select the you select the folder that you want to add the image to. So I would suggest that you add your images to your own City Network folders. Okay, because I'm used to working in this area, I'm going to add my image here. Sometimes you have to use the scroll buttons to find the upload button. I'm working on a French operating system, which is why you see here it's in French, but yours, in whatever regional language you're working in, will ask you to upload a file. By clicking on this button, you can navigate your directory, pick up whichever image you want, and then start the upload. Once you've started the upload and the upload is finished, the image will appear in this folder. So I'm going to just pick up, for sake of any image, I'm going to pick up this picture of Alice Corngold. You should make it a matter of best practice to give all of your images a description and a title, because that will help with your search engine optimization. Okay, and then I'm going to just click on Insert. Okay, so you see there is a picture of Alice.
Perfect.
What MemberClicks recommends you do not do, and it's just a little tip I want to share with you, try not to resize your images in MemberClicks. So if I think this is too big, I'm going to just scale it down. And then I'll say, whoa, no, that's too small. I'm going to scale it back up. Look what happens. The image starts to become pixelated. So if you want to add an image to MemberClicks and you want to check on what size it is before you add it to MemberClicks, I suggest you use this little tool. If you're not a graphic designer and you don't have access to great graphic design tools, which we don't as a voluntary network, I use this neat little online tool called Pixlr Express. So you can see the URL just here, and you can browse. Hopefully I'll make you all say ah now. I'm going to pick up this picture of my husband, me, and my baby. This is going back 9 years, but I still keep this picture on my on my desktop because I love it. If I want to look at the size of this picture, I'm just going to go in here to resize, and it shows me that it's 604 pixels wide and 453 pixels in height. Okay, now I can either resize it here, but I'm not going to do that. I've decided today that what I actually want to do is crop it. So I've gone to the crop tool, and I'm going to crop my husband out. And actually, I don't look great on this picture because I've just given birth. So I'm going to crop me out as well. I'm just going to leave my little baby in there. If I apply that, you can see it changes the picture straight away. Okay, and then you can save that. And then you have your resized picture in the size that you want. My recommendation for when you are using images in your event lists, in your event, when you're creating an event, is try and make the pictures no bigger than 150 by 150 pixels. That seems to be a nice size for a bio picture. Okay, I'm just going to remove Alice because I don't want to publish her face on this test event, but I'm going to now publish this. I'm going to save it, and as you can see, I haven't added a registration form to it. I haven't added anything else to it, but that event, purely by creating it there, will appear here. So I'm just going to test who was paying attention at the start. Can anybody remember what date I set the event for?
I think it was April 1st.
Thank you. Yes, it was. Great. Okay. So April 1st. And there it is. PWN test event for training purposes. So now, even if I don't feature this event in the newsletter, we encourage people to come and look at this calendar, and now they would see that my event is there. And if they're interested in it, they would click on it. You can see the date of the event. It's a member-only event. Usually I'd have my description, the bio of my speaker, a photo. And instead of, before we had a register here link at the bottom here, instead your register here link would be here where you set it, and that will take you to whichever URL you registered there. So I'm just going to click on that, and it should take us to the PWN homepage, which it does. Okay. So that's basically it. You can see in a relatively few clicks, once you've got your Eventbrite event set up, it's literally some copy and paste of some text, and then away you go. If you are copying and pasting text from Eventbrite or from any other place other than MemberClicks, here's what I suggest you do. So say, let's have a look. Say I want to copy this text. Ooh. MemberClicks will pick up, it's quite quirky, so it will pick up bits of code. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm just going to flip into a text editor. So Block Notes is the one that's provided with Microsoft Office. Depending on which systems you're using, you'll have a text editor somewhere. If I paste the text that I've just copied into here, and then I copy it again, it will copy it without any formatting. So then I can simply paste it into my event. Okay, if I copy and paste it into my event without going through a text editor to take all the formatting off it, you can run into some formatting issues when you publish the event. Okay, so I'm just going to save that again. I can flip back into here, go back to April the 1st, and we can just see what that looks like. There you go. So you can see the text is exactly as it should be. There's no formatting errors in there. Okay. And that is really all I have for you this evening. Are there any questions? Anything that I've covered that's not clear or that you want some more information on?
For me, it's very clear. Thank you. It was very helpful. It's Michiko.
Great.
Thank you, Michiko, for attending.
Oh, you're welcome.
For me, it's quite clear, I think, that you need to have a little bit of practice. That's very enough. Thank you very much for this.
If anybody wants to understand this a bit more, I'm going to save this session and I'll upload it to YouTube so you can listen back. It's only a half-hour session. The other thing that you can do, if you log in to PWN website with your user and password, your username and password, like this, you will see that a new menu appears. And on this menu here, there is an admin only selection. If you click on that, it will give you access to the user admin guide. And in the user admin guide, there is a step-by-step explanation of how you put an event onto MemberClicks. And so you only need to follow the first step of that. You don't need to worry about creating registration forms or payment flows. You literally need to just add the event to get it onto the calendar. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you
very much, ladies, and I wish you all a great evening. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to come back to me. That's what I'm here for, and it might be easier when you're going through this and you get stuck, or if you get stuck, just to quickly Skype me and I can help you unpick what's going on, because what may take you an hour could possibly take me 2 minutes, just because I do this every day.
Oh, because you're gifted.
I wouldn't say that. Okay.
You know, you had 3 people from Nice in the call tonight, huh? It's like nearly
Stephanie.
It's me, yeah.
Hi. Yeah, okay, so if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me, Skype me, whatever works best for you. Okay?
Okay.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good evening to you all.
Good evening, bye.